the Day of the Flag in Brazil. This solemn annual commemoration marks a key moment in the foundation of the Republic 129 years ago. The day when the Brazilian army, having just forced the royal family from power, unveiled the nation's new, enduring symbol. At this event in Sao Paulo, the presiding general had a message for the troops. All Brazilians should learn to love their flag, he said. Then he added something significant. As of January 2019, he said, he prayed that respect for the flag and patriotic pride would return to Brazil. That was a direct reference to the incoming president, a man the Brazilian army is welcoming to power, confident that he is on their side. Jair Bolsonaro may have left the army when he was in his 30s, but as a congressman, he's been a defender of the military for decades. And that includes the soldiers that governed this country from 1964 to 1985, having seized power in a coup. Here he was speaking to CGTN in 2017.
Nós não tivemos ditadura aqui. Tá? Nós tivemos regime militar com autoridade, com disciplina, que fez o Brasil crescer em todos os aspectos, inclusive na economia. Se algum militar chegar ao poder, que pode chegar, será pela via do voto direto.
So now the former paratrooper is to be president. Does that mean the army will be back in power here too? We spoke to Brazil's incoming vice president, a former general, who said such fears are misplaced.
Essa boneca eu fiz para Camila.
But one victim of this country's military rule takes another view. This is dangerous, she will tell us. Brazilians need to be more aware of their past. Rio de Janeiro in November. Some say this may be a glimpse of the rule of law under a Bolsonaro presidency. Since February, in response to soaring crime in the city and surrounding state, the army has been given extraordinary powers here to police the streets.
Vamos desembarcar a tropa e iniciar patrulhamento a pé.
We joined a patrol which happens daily. First, there's always a briefing. We noticed the major wasn't referring to potential criminals as the accused. They are the enemy. The soldiers told us that around half of their patrols involve some sort of armed confrontation with criminal elements. We entered Vila Vintem, a notorious base for drug trafficking, supplying some of the city's richer neighbourhoods. Many of the residents welcome the army here. But then there was a warning. That was a firework.
Já começou a brincadeira. Olha lá. Então, aconteceu, a gente apontou, a gente tem uma radinho que fica falando que a tropa chegou dentro da comunidade, não sei se você ouviu os foguetes. Então, quando eles soltam o foguete, eles avisam quando a gente está aqui. Então, a gente só desembarcou para deixar um caçador nosso para cobrir a segurança nossa.
This has been going for a few months. Are you reducing crime?
Sim, com certeza que a sensação de segurança que a população tem em ter essas patrulhas circulando aqui no local, ela melhorou muito a sensação de criminalidade que existia no local, né?
But you're not welcomed by everyone. As we've just came in, we heard some fireworks, which seemed to be a warning to people that you guys were coming in. Sim, so there's some people that don't want you here.
Sim, esses fogos de artifícios, né? Eles são utilizados pela criminalidade para justamente avisar que está tendo patrulha no local e que normalmente eles se escondem, né? Não há confronto direto normalmente, né? Com a nossa tropa, mas é um aviso, né? De que aqueles que fazem parte das organizações criminosas que se escondam, que há uma patrulha local fazendo patrulhamento.
Você pode vir aí.
Depending on your perspective, the operation, codenamed Dynamo, has achieved some of its aims. Murders from March to October in the state are down almost 5% compared to the same period last year. Car thefts have dropped nearly 70%. But killings by the police and army have soared. The programme for now is not expected to be extended beyond this pilot. But could it become a blueprint for a military-led anti-drugs law and order policy here? And what does the military think about that? Questions I put to the spokesman for the army in Rio, Colonel Sinelli.
It's a challenge, right? Because the armed forces, we are not working as strict armed forces. I mean, in the terms armed forces usually do in war. We are supporting the police forces, right? That's why the Brazilian case in terms of intervention is unique, because the countries who had tried to do similar stuff, they replaced the cops on their jobs, right? We're doing a support, and it's pretty much regarding management, right? We are transferring our expertise to them, and our troops act pretty much as police officers. Right?
As a soldier, does this make you feel a bit uncomfortable, policing?
No, because we are trained to do that, right? Our Constitution foresees this since 1988. I mean, strictly written, right? The armed forces can enforce law and order in certain cases. We are not expecting that kind of intervention, right? Because it's an exception. But in terms of activities, in terms of employment of the troops, that's for us. It's we have a lot of experience from Haiti, for example, and from other countries when Brazilian troops are deployed in peacekeeping operations.
Do you think because of this election, this country is going to change considerably, or?
I think the armed forces will be requested to work more in other areas, including public security, right? Because we have a lot of capabilities, they're not used because we're not at war, right? So I can give you an example, the engineers, right? We are just removed, I would say, around 1,000 barricades that the criminals build in the community, right? Using our engineers. The police, they don't have equipment to do that.
There are people who say, hang on, are we turning the clock back here to 64 to 85?
No, we are not.
No.
It's completely different. I mean, I cannot talk about those issues, right, because they are at the political level. But it's very different. I mean, you can see the relation with the press, the transparency of the procedures, right? We are doing everything under the scrutiny of the population.
But there is no question that the military is taking a prominent role in this government. The vice president is one of 4 generals in the Bolsonaro cabinet, but he insists the country is not about to turn the clock back.
What happens is we in military, we have principles, we have values, and the population was looking for this. That's why a lot of military has been elected to Congress. In our case, Bolsonaro and I, we've been elected as citizens of Brazil. Okay, we came from military, but Bolsonaro is a politician in the last 30 years. I think he's more a politician than a military.
But he's very much given the impression that it is the army that can put this house in order. And that has been picked up by the population and by the electorate. They have accepted that message. And is that the way you see this going, that a sort of military style approach to some of the big problems in this country, such as crime, that only the army can put this house in order?
Now, what I see is the principle of order has been shattered in the last times here in Brazil. Okay? And no country can live without order, without authority. Obvious that order and authority has to be together with the law. Okay? Nothing outside the law, nothing outside the Constitution. And what has happened here in Brazil, that the law enforcement was very soft. We need to be more hard.
That sort of language troubles Rita Sipahi. Now 80, as a young lawyer, she was imprisoned and tortured by Brazil's military rulers, none of whom were ever prosecuted. In fact, one of the alleged torturers from that era has been praised by Jair Bolsonaro. Sipahi believes strongly that because Brazil never confronted its past, its future is perilous.
Então, eu acho que esse desconhecimento da história foi o responsável por querer os militares de volta. As crises e não entendimento do que acontecia no país e da relação com o contexto internacional, né? O desemprego. Então, uma grande questão que eu acho da nossa realidade brasileira é a descontinuidade. Um governo se sucede e ele começa como se nada tivesse acontecido antes. É tudo. E isso agora, nesse momento, é muito característico.
She is also deeply concerned about the whole principle of using the army as a police force and the risk of labeling criminals, as Bolsonaro does, as enemies that need to be destroyed.
Quando o exército pensa que ele vai combater a droga, né, ou vai combater no Rio com intervenção militar, né, o que ele pensa é outra vez o enfrentamento não do conflito. O conflito não é enfrentado. Não há uma perspectiva de que outra alternativa possa ser, mas sim a eliminação, a exclusão. Os militares não são responsáveis pelas polícias. Ele é responsável pela segurança nacional, pelas fronteiras. Eles têm uma outra, vamos dizer, missão dentro do aparato do Estado. Não, no Brasil acabou eles estendendo a ação e concordando com ela. Eu acredito que não seja todo o exército que pensa isso, mas quem tem hegemonia dentro do exército pensa.
Many Brazilians are reassured by the close connections between the incoming government and the military. For them, this institution represents much of what they crave: order, discipline, security. But there are other voices here, and they have a warning. Be careful what you wish for.